about 7:30 on a very crisp and cold January morning. It's currently -2 when this footage was shot. What we found with the weather like this is that the fallow actually didn't tend to come out at first light, but instead they sort of came out a little bit later in the mornings, try and get a bit more warmth on their backs. So hence it looks quite light in this footage. Up ahead of us and off to our right is a small conifer plantation that you can just about see there. And actually what we tend to find is the fallow really enjoy hanging out in there in the mornings and conducting sort of raiding missions out on this grass in front of us. So we thought we'd give that little plantation a try. Almost as soon as we got over the gate, through the thermal, could see a couple of fallow up in this bit of coniferous woodland ahead. At the time I could see their heads as they were down grazing, and actually they were just about sort of visible through a gap in the trees, so I thought we might get a shot on one of them. Unfortunately, despite the fact they were completely unaware that we were here, they were obviously grazing from right to left, and as they were walking through, they kept going in front of or behind trees, so we just didn't get a clear shot at them. Despite the very, very crunchy ground conditions, we actually managed to get quite a lot closer to this group of fallow that were up in this bit of coniferous planting ahead of us. We had to take it pretty slow, and I think in reality it probably took us about 10 minutes to get closer. But as you'll see in a moment, it was all worth it. You'll see I relocated pretty quickly after taking the shot. The fallow hadn't moved off that far to the left-hand side, so I thought we might get a shot at the second one. Sadly that wasn't to be, and they started.
Come here. So there you have it. For once, not only did we get that on film, but actually it's light enough that you could probably see what was happening as well. So creeping along a track, a little bit of woodland off up to our right, and I could just see, looking through with the thermal, in the bottom of the wood, sets of legs. So we kind of snuck up towards a little bit of woodland. It's a little plantation, and there were 3 little fallow youngsters in there. I think if they'd been does, they would have heard us creeping along, because you can probably hear it actually. There's loads of really crisp dead leaves on the floor, so they're making quite a lot of noise. And I think they were just a bit either inquisitive or unsure, or I don't know. Like I said, I think if they'd been more mature, wiser does, they would have buggered off, but they kind of hung around for a minute or two. 3 of them just stood there. I don't know, they were probably 25-30 metres away, so managed to head shoot one of them. It's not ideal shooting these little youngsters, rather have a bigger mature doe, but at the same time they'll be breeding in the next rut basically, so you kind of need to remove them anyway, and there's so many of them around that we've got to do something about them. So we were stood here in this opening here, and the 3 does were sort of stood just about there. So just dragged this one back to here. Although it's a kind of yearling, it's still now a sort of decent size. I would have said it probably sort of 21 kilos when we get it on the hook, or maybe 20 kilos. So there we go. So thanks very much for watching, guys. I'm really pleased that we've actually got one in the light view, because every time I've uploaded footage recently, we've had to play around with all the settings to get it as light as possible. Even still, it's pretty much been pitch black, and I think all you've heard is the shot of the gun. You haven't seen anything. So hopefully we've got this one on film for you. Hopefully you've enjoyed this as well. So please remember to comment, like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.